How's it going, everybody? Welcome to One IQ Sports. My name is Brendan Donald. Joining me here is Will Manzik. And day before the NHL draft, we figured we might as well just kind of throw up our mock draft going into this. What is going to be happening for this is we are going to alternate who's going to be picking. So, for instance, I could be first. I take whoever I think the Chicago Blackhawks are going to take. Then Will would go in second, and vice versa, just kind of going down that road. I kind of feel like we all know who's going to be picked first overall here, and
Yeah, Adam Fantilli.
yeah, clearly Adam Fantilli. I was actually going to say Mitchkov, but
Oh, right.
yeah,
How
no,
could I forget?
yeah. So I think we're probably going to start this back and forth process after this pick, because let's be honest here, it is going to be none other than Connor Bedard.
Yeah, the great
Yeah,
one.
the the hailed great one.
The
Um,
already won an NHL award before getting drafted one.
Yeah, you and I kind of
That's
talked about that a little bit yesterday as that happened, and we just both kind of laughed and said,
so
this
wild.
has to just simply be an award for like the suspected first overall pick."
Has to be. What else would it be for? You're just like, oh, good job.
Yeah, so moving forward, Will, I'm gonna give you the honors to start us off here, I guess, with the Anaheim, formerly Anaheim Mighty Ducks. I still miss that name.
I do
I
too. I
thought I
miss
thought
those
that was sick.
jerseys.
Those
I miss those
jerseys.
jerseys. I mean, I feel like this pick's pretty obvious as well. I feel like they just go with Adam Fantilli.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
That's like
have to.
that's basically what the draft lottery ended up being for was, oh, we all know where Bedard's going.
But who's gonna get
Who
Adam
gets
Fantilli?
Fantilli? Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. I think he's probably like in most years he's running away with the first overall pick.
Oh, but without a doubt.
Yeah, and then the guy that I think would run away with second overall in most drafts, and going to Columbus, Leo Carlson heading into that team.
Yeah.
He's without a doubt the second or the third best player on this list, and realistically, probably the best European.
Oh, without a doubt. He was insane during the World Juniors. Like, just insane.
Oh, he was ridiculous with how like good caliber that he was. And so yeah, now you're
San
heading up for
Jose.
yeah, you got
For
the San Jose Sharks.
I feel like I have this pick nailed on the head, and I think it's keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, Will Smith out here. About to slap the shit out of someone. I got Will Smith going fourth.
Yeah, Will Smith, center at the NDP or NTDP. Uh, Really good prospect. This is a
The
guy that
best US
for
born prospect, without a doubt.
without a shred of a doubt, and he's just one of those guys where you just kind of look at it and go, okay, like yeah, this could
Yeah.
be a potentially really good looking move.
Oh,
And
without a
I
doubt.
kind of wish that he would fall to 9.
Of
Kind of
course
wish
you
that.
would.
Yeah.
I wish Bedard would fall to 32.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Will, you are Vegas Golden Knights fan. You got your Stanley Cup
I did.
championship. Me, as a Red Wings fan, I got the two first round picks, which I'm hoping one of those picks, preferably the 17th, turns into Alex DeBrincat. But yeah,
Yeah, I'd be shocked if it didn't.
yeah. So going to Montreal, this is kind of a weird one because I don't think they'll take Mitchkov because obviously he's so far out.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I get the vibe that Montreal wants to compete in the next 2 years, and Michkov won't be in the league for another 5 years,
Yeah, I think it's
right?
3. I think it's
Three?
3. Yeah,
I thought it was. I don't know.
might be more, but for me, I think I'm gonna go with Zachary Benson here.
Yeah,
Just
I agree with this one.
he was just a really good player, and I've heard just nothing but really good things about him. He is undersized, but he
So good in Winnipeg, though.
just so good. And with that Winnipeg Ice team, with how many star talent players they had, like he's I think he's going to be a fairly good pickup for the Canadians here.
Now we got Arizona. Now Arizona is a team that doesn't really know what they're going to be doing in the next few years. Trying to remember who they just drafted. Logan Cooley. isn't
Yep.
going to play for them, right? He's still doing another year wherever the fuck he's playing college hockey. This is a team that I could see take Matvei Michkov, but I don't think Michkov wants to play for them, so I don't think he'll get drafted by them.
I
I
think
think he'll
he's like
pull.
Mitchkov has definitely told teams he's like, listen, do
Yeah,
not draft me.
he's pulling the Yager.
Yeah.
So for that, I think Dalibor Dvorsky is going to Arizona.
Going to Arizona. Okay, very, very interesting. Why do you have him going there?
I don't. So originally, I had Michkov go to Montreal, and I don't know why. So I had to move everyone down. So when we moved Michkov out of Montreal, which made a lot more sense, it brought Dvorsky up. Originally, I have Dvorsky going to Philly, but I could see Arizona taking Dvorsky as another high-end centerpiece to kind of lead an offense because that's what they need. I could also see Axel Sandin Pelika, but I think it's a toss-up between those two.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I don't know, whichever one we want to lean with.
Yeah, Dvorsky, definitely the man being picked in that particular occasion. And now we're starting to get into this weird area of where Michkov definitely could be picked by Philly. They're just kind of mad enough to do that. But
See, I think they do take him.
I'm actually going to have them taking Oliver Moore.
Okay.
Just because they need so much help. And I think that it's just one of those things for Philly that they're probably going to want to go with, you know, the American born Moore, who has just been a really good talent throughout the entire year. And I think this is ultimately a pretty half decent move.
Okay. I can see that. Well, here in
And
Washington, I mean, I go ahead.
you go Michkov?
Yeah, Washington, I'm going Michkov.
Yeah. And,
If Michkov makes it past Washington, I'd be shocked.
oh, same. I think there's probably zero chance that Washington, like if he's there, he's not going to be picked just because like the big thing with Michkov is that he was always talked about as being very similar to a Alex
Ovechkin.
Ovechkin. There we go. As I'm forgetting who the
Names
fuck
are hard. It's okay.
they are. They are, especially when you have to rattle them off like me. But like the storyline there, and that's kind of why I had more being taken to Philadelphia, just because I think the story of that would be. I also think Philadelphia wouldn't mind going down that route, but it would also be pretty fun to, see Michkov play potentially with Ovechkin in the NHL.
Oh, that would be amazing. Imagine Michkov sets up Ovechkin to break.
Gretzky's goal scoring record, yeah, that would be quite amazing. As Will frozen on screen here.
Brendan.
Yeah, and you're back.
Hi.
As you kind of froze up a little bit there.
I said imagine Michkov to Ovechkin to break the goal record.
Yep,
Insane.
it would be insane. So now taking a look here at my Detroit Red Wings, I'm gonna go with David Reinbacher, just
Okay.
because, again, the Red Wings, they do need some offense, but they're also a team that still needs some defense and some more players just being added towards that pipeline. Obviously, we have Mo Sider. Obviously, we have Soderblom and, a bunch of other guys, but just adding another top end defensive talent. And plus, European Eisman likes to draft those Europeans. So kind of makes sense in my
It makes
mind.
sense. It does. It does. Now we're here with the Blues. And I'm gonna be real. I think the Blues need a lot of things. I'm not too familiar with the boys in blue out in St. Louis, but I think it just makes sense for them to go with the highest remaining player right now, which is Axel Sandin Pelika. But I also have this weird feeling that they might go for some offense and go to Otto Stenberg.
Who are you feeling?
I'm feeling the defenseman, personally.
Sundin?
Yeah.
All right, now we go over to the Vancouver Canucks, which again they are
They need a
kind of
lot.
they do, and obviously Elias Pettersson was unbelievable this year.
And they got another one.
Yeah,
They got 2.
they do, and so I'm kind of looking at it going like, do we add? Obviously, there's not a ton of defensive guys right here at this point that is at least on our mock draft area, which is being done on FC Hockey. So this is their rankings. And again, just kind of looking at some of the notes that I have here. Who do we have?
I mean, I think they go back and dip into Sweden again. They obviously have no issues jumping over there.
Yeah, so Otto could be a potential. You know what? I will go him. Just bring that one up. Stenberg. So now hitting back to
Arizona.
Yeah.
I think this one, Arizona might take a shot in the dark. I think it's a shot in the dark. I don't know. I could be way wrong here. I have Gabriel Perreault.
Gabriel Perreault.
Yeah, however you say his name. I don't know why, but I can just see him and Logan Cooley on the same line.
Couple of American guys, and taking a
Yeah.
look at what they got a little bit earlier with with Dvorsky, center, now going after
A winger.
a winger. Yeah, sure. Now
Sure, let's go with it.
taking a look here at Buffalo, and kind of just taking I think they'll probably just end up going best player available. It's kind of just at this weird situation. Again, you and I are not hockey scouts. We're just kind of going with what positions would make sense to us. So, yeah, gonna go with that particular individual.
Edward Sale.
Edward Sale.
I have a shot in the dark, but I don't think it happens.
What's that?
I have because Pittsburgh's going to start looking at getting the next center. I'm looking at Braden Yager, but I don't think Yager hits Pittsburgh. I don't think it happens. I think instead it's probably, I think Kobe Barlow. Yeah.
Which is also not a bad move, because another guy that can be on the wing and learn from, for instance, like a guy like Crosby.
Yeah. I think if Pittsburgh was drafting at that 16 spot, Yager gets taken.
Yeah. Definitely wouldn't be a bad pick. So you want to lock in?
Kobe Barlow is locked in. Ready to go.
Ready to go. So again, now we're up to Nashville, and a buddy of mine, big Nashville fan, one of the things that he sees this team never do is get good offensive talent in the draft. They're able to draft really well in the defensive side of things, but I'm actually going to give them Matthew Wood here just to allow them to try to get a little bit more offensive firepower there for that team.
That was a good pick that I was looking at. That was potentially my 16th pick, but I know my 16th pick. I think it's a guy that's heavily underrated going into this draft. I'm going to go Braden Yager.
Braden Yager?
I think he leads the Sea of Red.
Yep, Moose Jaw Warriors coming to Calgary.
Good old Saskatchewan kid.
Good old Saskatchewan boy, the place where you are. And now kind of taking a look back here at my Red Wings, obviously we drafted them David Reinbacher, but I still want to get them a little bit more talent up front. So now it's just kind of trying to figure out who's still available, who's best available. You know what? I think I might just give them... this is interesting as I'm just kind of looking over some stuff here. I'm going to give them the Kelowna Rockets player, Andrew Crystal. Yeah, just adding him to, Yzerman, he's from Cranbrook. I was going to say former Kelowna Rocket, which I don't think he was. But, yeah, I think just adding some more offensive power on the wing.
Yeah, I mean, that was my guy. If he was out here for 18 that I was taking. But now with Winnipeg hitting the heavy reset button, just trading Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Literally,
I
it was
think they
10
go
minutes before we got this.
yeah, like perfect timing. I think they go Gavin Brindley.
Gavin Brindley.
Best player available type thing.
Get some more winger help for the future.
Exactly.
Now, Chicago, obviously, they got that number 1 overall pick in ConnorBedard. They now have Taylor Hall, who's going to come in and just be an absolute force to be reckoned with. I think they're going to try to find Bedard another playmate here in the first round. Just obviously another someone to kind of learn from. And I'm going to go with Musty
Quentin Musty.
out
Quentin
of
Musty.
the Sudbury Wolves of the OHL League, just to try to give him a little bit more help down the middle. Again, I'm not sure if he's, a sniper, power forward. We're just two guys just like hockey and just trying to add players at their position. Think that will have success moving forward.
I fuck with it. Going into Seattle. Seattle's an interesting one. The second year they make the playoffs. They're an interestingly built team. But I think I could be way wrong here. I think they struggled a little bit defensively at times, and I think they probably want that top guy playing on the defense. I think Mikhail Gulyev from the KHL. I could see going to Seattle.
Yep. That's where that's going to happen. Now, taking a look at the Wild, obviously they have a good goaltender in their system, so no real need to look there. Obviously, they have, Kaprizov, who's just been phenomenal. I'm going to give him Leonard Ryan here out of the U.S. National U18 team.
Okay.
Just to kind of allow them to get some more support up the middle. Never bad. It's never a bad thing to have too many centers.
Oh, no. Again, now going back to Philly, who did we give Philly last time?
Taking a look at who we gave Philly early on, we gave them
Oliver Moore. So here, I think I could see them hitting a defenseman here, but I just think it might be a bit of a risk on Simashev. Sure. On Dimitri. I think they actually go and take Riley Heidt.
Riley Heidt?
Yeah, that's a guy I think they compare with Oliver Moore on that top 6 forward area.
Prince George Cougar going in.
Also a Saski kid.
Taking a look at this is that the Rangers, obviously, for years they had a few great draft lottery scenarios that happened, and now they get themselves put with a great few players that they didn't really utilize all that much. I'm going to give them Dmitry Simonov here. Again, never a bad thing to add some more defense to that. They have a bunch of offensive players. Now, let's just say this guy maybe in the future be a top line D-man pair with Adam Fox.
Exactly. And that's all you need.
Yeah.
Going into Nashville, your buddy was saying Nashville doesn't ever really take some forward, high offensive guys. I think Jaden Braun of the Chicago Steel makes his way to Nashville.
Alrighty. So now we're heading back to St. Louis, who going all the way back. We had them Sandin, the D-men. Again, this team, I think I'm going to give them Callum Ritchie here, the center out of the Oshawa Generals.
Okay.
Just to continue to add some more offensive power here.
In San Jose, I think it's best case scenario, take the best guy, and that's Kasper Halttunen. I think that's just a great way to go. Start building up that young forward core this year, because they have still some pretty good defensive pieces, and they'll probably trade Carlson either this offseason or next season.
Yep.
So I think just start building that offensive core, so when you trade the defensive core, that's all you have to worry about in the draft.
Yep. And now going for Colorado, looking at this, I think I'm going to give them Ethan Gunther.
Okay.
The left wing. Again, they've been making some moves here over the last couple of days. Didn't they just trade Newhook today, or was that yesterday that they traded?
I think it was yesterday.
Yes. So now you get to choose everyone's favorite hockey team, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, someone's getting moved this offseason, whether Maple Leaf fans want to admit it or not. I think the most likely candidate is gonna be Nylander.
Nylander? Yep.
So
Kind of
they're
got to
gonna
look for
need to
someone on
find
the
a
wing.
way. They're gonna need to find a way to take someone there, but the guy they're gonna have isn't gonna be for this year, and they got to worry about potentially losing Austin Matthews.
Yep.
I think they go with Nate Danielson, the centerman, to come up in a year or two and kind of take over the reins, or he can move to a wing spot. Because
Okay.
Tavares isn't he close to being done as well?
Yeah, not too terribly far down the line. Again, I
So,
think all those guys are realistically either on their last year or they're getting close to the last year of their
oh
deal.
yeah,
But now back to St. Louis. This is their third first round pick. I'm going to give them Daniel Butt out of the
okay.
MHL. Again, we've kind of given them some D help. We've gotten them a center. Might as well try to add a little bit more, help with the winger.
So now we got into Carolina, and now Carolina's they need a lot, but they don't need a lot. They just need that star, and I don't know who's going to be their star, but I think they're just going to grab the best available player. That's David Edstrom.
David Edstrom. Now the Montreal Canadiens, who did we give them all the way back up earlier in this particular one?
Was
Zachary
it
Benson.
Benson?
Yeah, we gave them Benson all the way back there. So got them a winger, and I'm gonna give them William Whitelaw as their center just to try to get some more help. And now you get to choose the Stanley Cup champions. Show off that shirt that you got wearing there. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Who are you going to have your team taking to potentially be the future star of this organization that's likely going to basically have maybe 1 or 2 more years of success, then go back down into the drain?
Yeah. So, I think the best available player left would be Roman Kansterserov. Oh, fuck, I'm not even gonna attempt that last name. But Vegas has a lot of winging depth. They don't really need to look at that offensive prowess. I think they continue to build the defensive core that was by far the best defensive core in the playoffs. I think they go to Saskatoon and take Tanner Melendek.
Tanner Melendek getting some more D help there. And that is pretty much just gonna do it here. Where obviously, pretty much once you get past the top 10, it's realistically just a crapshoot
Oh
at
yeah.
who's gonna be there, what's gonna happen. But kind of like taking a look here at the first overall pick, it's Bedsy. It's been Bedsy since he was like 13 years old.
The top five has been settled for like the past 12 months.
I think the only guy that really one could argue might not be in the top five is Zachary Benson.
Yeah, and I think the only argument would be to get Benson out is if Matvey Mitchkov gets put in there.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. And even then it's like pretty much once you get to that fifth spot, that's when the draft really starts to open up, in my opinion, because obviously Bedard, Fantilli, Carlson, and Smith, those are all just some of just the best talent out there, and you're kind of just sitting back going like, okay, we know these four guys are going to go, we know Bedard is going to be first overall, chances are it's probably going to be Fantilli second, but I wouldn't also be surprised if, for instance, they want to pair Carlson up there on that first line and just to see the creative genius stuff that can happen there with all their young guys and all their young studs. But Fantilli would also be a phenomenal player there, both 6'2", around that 185 pounds mark. So
Yeah, I think Fantilli is as close to a lock at second as possible. Like, there's still that shot that I think Leo Carlson could make that. There's still a part of me that could see Fantilli drop to four, but I think the top four we have locked right.
yeah, I agree with you. And then pretty much just after that point, it's really just a coin toss of who it's going to be, unless you're a massive fan of this particular team, this, that, the other thing. Like these are kind of just our eventual, just kind of throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
Again, we will be streaming the NHL Draft live for at least the first round, and we'll kind of potentially have to look back at this tomorrow and be like, how
Yeah,
wrong we
we
were.
sucked.
Yeah, yeah. But that is it. Thank you all for joining us here on 1IQ. Again, my name is Brendan. This is Will. We'll see you guys all very soon.
Bye.